Jnana Yoga. Yoga meaning communion with something, and that something here is that attendant spirit in our language, and that happens by wisdom. What is wisdom? Again, another word. Wisdom meaning great range of, wider range of complex knowledge structures. So, how can that complex network of knowledge structures lead to union with the attendant spirit? The same process. So, you're all actually existing right now at a very high level, which I know. But you will recognize it only in suitable situations. And perhaps suitable situations may not happen in your workplace or in your normal social networks. That's why everyone should perhaps even consciously try to create opportunities for benefiting other people. Like Ramesh said, giving other people your wisdom, which will happen. And like Ashwati, she is very content in a place, but her friends are calling her. And one friend who called her and sought her advice, she will automatically talk about this to somebody else in a given context, in some other context. Then that person will come to know about that. So similarly, in the case of Ashwati, for example, now Ramesh is already doing his presentations or interactions in two schools on a unique model of education, creative education. So like that, Nitya is interacting with people. Veena is already doing that. Naveen Chandra also is going to schools and interacting with students. Wonderful, that's all. And interacting, you will also evolve. Like your so-called popularity or network increases, correspondingly your competence also would increase, and at one point of time you will be absolutely free. You will become capable to manage almost anybody else in the world. You'll be able to answer to questions by anybody else in the world. That's all. That's what Aswati is doing. That's what Veena Ganesh is doing. That's what every one of you is actually doing. That's why people come to you and ask questions. Though our purpose is not that, but it has to happen. You have to allow that because also, that's a very important point which Ramesh was so inspiringly mentioning that. You have to give. That's very important. That's a universal truth. The coconut tree gives away. The mango tree gives away. If you have some fruits, you have to give away. In terms of human societies, that giving away may not be that easy because there should be some receptive minds. But I suppose there are some lucky people, and naturally, as I told you, the path of your existence depends upon your level of preparation. So automatically, people will come to your path. No doubt about that. Also, even if you sit at home, people come to you. So good reviews. Uh, and I am sure with every other presentation there will be good reviews like this. But the time constraints, it takes 3 to 3.5 hours. So that way also, we can say this presentation was crisp enough, which allowed space for everyone to respond and react. It would be ideal that everyone else also, the remaining, also make short presentations. There is not much people remaining because whatever you know, you already know. The presentation here is actually, of course, help the presenter with a little more clarity of whatever he is presenting, and plus develop the competency and extra confidence to make presentation to anybody in the world. Plus three, very important, everybody else will get a chance to revisit some of the learnings and get new ideas, and they will give opportunity to make creative reviews. That's all. I also, most of the time, I think I should make it half of it, but even I am not careful about that requirement. But I'm planning increasingly our sessions should be almost 50-50. And I'm sure it will be because I occupied most of the time in my sessions before because I wanted you to clarify creative analytic thinking and referent reality perception. And I wanted to ensure that you are all capable of referent perception and conceptualization. That's why I talked most of the time. But I tried my best to mix it up with in between questions and discussions and all that. That's okay. Yeah, I am doing it. No problem. Yeah. I don't know how to do like this also. And, uh, and then let me also make concluding statement that I envisage a time when every one of you would do wonders surpassing me. Because I am giving you whatever I have gathered in some 45, 50 years to you. You are all very young and you are beginning from there. So naturally you will do much better than me. No doubt about that.
Yes, sir, your blessing, sir. Why not?
That'll be a miracle, sir.
Because so you are young dynamic spirits, much more involved in economic activities. So naturally, every one of you will become much more competent than I am. No doubt about that. So right now, what Nitya does, I cannot do. What Veena Ganesh does, I have told her umpteen number of times. I just cannot do what she does. No doubt about it. Yeah,
Mhm.
and I could not conceptualize what Ramesh did. In fact, I could not write the 6 lines like Aswathy did.
Right, sir.
Not, in fact, I could not even dream what you call, for example, Nitya did, aligning all her ideas into A, B, C, D, F, and all that. What a unique
Right.
originality.
Mhm.
Similarly, uh, uh, what Tindu could list down from all those things in a systematic way. I told you, I am only a coach. I am only a guide on the roadside. But I am familiar with the terrain of the referent reality. You are the travelers of the future. And you will definitely scale much, much greater and wider terrains. No doubt about that.
You are the center of the wheel, sir.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I have been the researcher and I have given you the findings. I was not much
Yes.
of a doer. So my only doing was in research and finding out. So whatever I have found out, uh,
Mm.
I will try my best to give all of them to you, and you utilize it the way you want. So today, as you go to sleep, get out of your body like Ramesh does, and feel the surroundings, and expand your attention to as much as possible, and reach the limit of it. Then again, come back step by step, and come back to your core and feel your ribs of the backside where everything comes to the end at your side. Your end is at the back of your ribs. That is the wall upon which you stand on and look at everything. That is the stadium where the U is placed. The stadium of your rib network, especially the backside ribs. So from there, reach there. From there again you travel and feel the oneness of you with every item you touch upon. Like for example, all of most of the time you think in words or moving around with words you call thinking. I am trying to create another word to talk about the same procedure with the visuals. Like you are exposed to words, you are exposed to a countless number of images. Like you have the images of the mountain, of the rain, of the mist, of the tree, of the plant, of the grass, of the butterfly, of the bird, of the stone, of the rocks. Thousands of images are available. Like you connect words, you think in images, you connect with images. Most of the time, there's a running, a so-called stream of consciousness is full of words, maybe studded with occasional images. Now let it be the reverse. Try to train your stream of consciousness with visuals, things you have seen or things you are imagining. It would be little difficult because words are separate structures. My, name, is. So everyone is a single unit. But you may not be able to define single units, let us say, of a mountain. Because the mountain is continuously connected with the forest and then to the plains. So, separated engaging with the mountains and then a water drop and all may not be that easy. But practice will definitely make you able to do that. Instead of wordified internal stream of consciousness, there will be visual stream of consciousness. Get the point, Tintin? Did you understand what I said?
Yes, sir. I think with visual stream, it flows so fast, you just have to go with the flow and understand it. Words slow you down, actually.
All right. Don't make such classifications, but try that. Okay, yeah. So when you say that you have tried it,
Yes, sir.
all right, good.
That's why I think I could get the referent of when you were speaking about that, sir. Getting into a visual imagery.
When you repeat it, not just visual imagery, it is continuity of visuals flowing. Normal stream of consciousness is continuity of words flowing. Here, continuity of only visuals flowing. It is not just a visualization of a mountainous region and sky and all that. No. Instead of words, there will be visuals.
What are you terming this methodology, sir?
Because thinking with visuals is not correct. Because the thinking is often associated with the words. But thinking involves connecting words, actually speaking. That's what is happening. You don't consciously connect words, but that is all practiced for years together. So when you start thinking, you get connected words. And if you do not think, there's a running stream of consciousness full of words. So here, anyway, I told you the thing, we can find out a name or you can create a name for that process.
So this is observation. This is called observation only.
No, not observation, Naveen.
Why not? Oh,
Naveen, do not think that complicated. I told you, for example, when you are sitting alone, there's a stream of thought. They are filled with words.
right, sir.
Let us say, for example, you are thinking, let's say consciously thinking. Let's say, like Ramesh said, planning for tomorrow. You lie down and think. Tomorrow morning, I will get up, maybe tomorrow morning, I have to get up early and then prepare a presentation. Then I have to go to that office and meet, and so on and so forth. You are thinking, let's say, consciously. That's using words.
Right,
Instead
sir.
of that flow, the flow will compress, let us say, the words of visuals. That means there won't be any words, like Aswathy pointed out. Let's say nameless. So forget about that, it is a little bit tough. For example, instead of words running through the consciousness, let us say, A sample stream of consciousness will compress. Okay, mountain top to tree top to soil to chapel to tree to cup of tea to table to spectacles to wristwatch to that will be flowing through the mind instead of words.
Okay.
That you can practice for as well as you go to sleep consciously. If you remember, we have seen so many things. We don't remember that, but we have heard all the words are remembered. That is because of our training.
Yeah.
Though we see umpteen number of sites or units of items in the visible environment of let's say visual data, that's taken as a whole, and we just forget it. So it may require it will have the prerequisite of noticing the details. For example, you look at a tree as a whole, but train to look at every leaf. Not every leaf, but look at the leaves also. You look at a whole mountain here and there, etc. But to look at
Right.
parts of the mountain, for example, if you want to develop this.
Okay.
Like let us say in a ground, okay, let's say in a ground there's a mango tree, then the coconut tree, then the guava tree, then the what you call all those trees, varied trees, let us say so. If your attention go from one tree to the next tree, to the leaf of the next tree, to the trunk of the next tree, to the flower of the next tree, to another plant, to another grass, to another butterfly, to a bird, to a raindrop, to a piece of cloud, to how if your attention travels like that alone, that's what I say. But that would be a little difficult because there is no theme. In every stream of consciousness, in every set of language flow, there is a theme. But there is no theme here. That is the problem.
Right.
So that you can train yourself having a rainy morning or a rainy evening.
Mm-hmm.
So try to sustain as much as you remember. Why there is no visual memory? Visual memory is very weak. We see something, and when we see that again, it will come back. Otherwise, it is not present. Whereas words are all the time present.
Yes,
That
sir.
is because of constant and consistent use of it. The language running thought is all the time happening. Language is the most used, the most frequently used, only one tool. That is why. Only one thing, only one behavior. That is why. So you take, for example, in the beginning, a 2 minute or a 3 minute visual uh, process flow, something like that. So you take a theme of a rainy morning. Okay, so you start with the sun, then the sun rays beaming through the leaves, then the leaves of the tree, then the trunk of the tree, the branch of the tree, to the bird on the tree, to suddenly to the ground grass, then suddenly to a piece of stone, and go on like that. Like controlled thinking, you control a thought, you control your shift of internal attention to one visual image or one visual memory to another visual memory. That's all. Or an easier way you can try with seeing the referent of, let us say, the woodcutter. Just go on seeing that man getting up in the morning and dressing up, coming out of the house, washing the face, uh, uh, taking some porridge from the kitchen. It should have a sequence. Going out to the forest. So that is a theme-directed visual process flow. That also you can try.
Okay.
That is, but unconsciously directed or guided by the words or the parable that you know. There is there is no similar idea to control conscious visual connection. That's all. That's all.